Hey, hey, my lovely goal-getters. Welcome to the Moms Making Money Show. I'm your host, Amie Pederson, business mentor and confidence coach for the emerging boss mom. It's my mission to help amazing women just like you up-level yourself and your business because you are meant for more than wiping boogers and folding laundry. I'm also a wife, mother, urban farmer, influencer, green juice enthusiast, and an unapologetic lover of cowboy boots. I can't wait to help you grow your business by sharing my tips, tricks, proven business strategy, experience, and incredible guests. Hang on tight and enjoy the show. Okay, so we are live with the lovely Dr. Jesica Mills, and she is coming to us from across the country from me. So we are linked up here on Zoom and Facebook. And we are actually recording this episode of the Moms Making Money Show live today because I know so many people have been asking me a ton of questions about some of the products that I've been using that I get from Jesica. And I really wanted to give you guys the chance to hop on live and ask some of your own questions as well. So I will read those as they pop up. And I want to turn it over to you now, Jesica, so that you can tell us a little bit about yourself, about your background, and about what made you decide to do all these amazing things that you're doing.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I absolutely love you guys. So you're awesome. So I'm Jesica Mills, and I'm a pharmacist as well as a naturopath. And I own a pharmacy here in Owensboro, Kentucky. So I also have two little girls. I have Audrey, who's 2.5, and then I've got Lily, who is 1.5. And then my husband is in nurse practitioner school, and it's gonna hopefully end sometime soon. Anyway, and so my parents owned a pharmacy, and I grew up in independent pharmacy. So what we did is I grew up, and I knew that I wanted to do it. I absolutely love being able to take care of patients and help with the kids and help with everyone. And so what we do is I went to pharmacy school and then graduated, thought that I was done with school. Hallelujah. Everything's great. And then my dad had non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. And that happened in like 2016. And so I decided after he went to Vanderbilt and exhausted all of the different options, the chemo, the radiation, and surgery again, they just told him that he had less than a year to live. And that was about a week after my first baby was born. And it just wasn't okay with me. That wasn't a good enough option. So I always heard of different stuff, but I wanted to study it. And then also to be able to have that knowledge for my patients. And so I took a doctorate program at Trinity and became a naturopath. And so I like to be the person that meets people where they are and can educate people and empower people to take control of their health, to optimize their wellness, and to be able to learn how to blend their prescription meds as well as any other things that they want to try. And so we've had a lot of really great success. We've had a lot of really cool stuff happen. So that's what I do. That's why I'm here.
That is so awesome. And especially because a lot of people have an opinion about, obviously, pharmaceutical companies and different things, but where you're able to kind of marry the two of those things together and really balance it out. Because a lot of times doctors, they're like, oh, well, we don't really know, because they don't know how certain things interact with herbs or certain things interact with, something even like CBD, which we're going to talk about. And I know that CBD is all the rage right now, and so many people are talking about it, so many people are trying it, so many people are selling it and have all these different things. So I love that you are not only a pharmacist, but a naturopath, and you can totally give us some added insight. And I know how you feel about, your dad. You love your dad. And I think it's wonderful that you have kind of sought out, alternative care for him. Right. I think it's wonderful. Oh, yeah. Mia has hopped on and she says hello.
Hi, Mia.
He's a lucky dad to have a daughter like you.
It's interesting when you've got more skin in the game. Like in pharmacy school, we were taught like there's lots of herbs, there's lots of stuff. There's no studies, there's no peer-reviewed clinical evidence. We don't know if it works. All that we really do is look at the drug interactions, and that's what we're taught is what it interacts with. And even so, I mean, it doesn't go into food and how food's going to change it. It doesn't talk about vitamins. We don't talk about the nutrients that get pulled out from the regular prescription meds. Right. We just don't get a lot of that education. And I felt like to give my patients more, I needed to be able to like fully understand it. And a doctorate program is where I thought, like, if I'm a doctor of pharmacy, let's go ahead and get a doctorate level education. That way we can actually be integrative and merge the two of them safely and effectively.
Oh, I love that. I almost wish that the naturopath side was a requirement for the medical pharmaceutical side.
Yeah. There's some new classes that are coming up, like up east, to where like they've got colleges that are teaching that now. And you could always go, I think there's like 7 naturopath colleges in the United States. And so, but a lot of times you have to get an MD first, and then it's just those that, you know, felt inclined to get that MD education as well. So, but we're moving that way. There's a lot of people, and especially like of my generation, we've seen like the 20 prescription medications that our parents take. And like you just basically are covering up symptoms with a lot of the stuff that we've got. And so a lot of us don't want to get into that lifestyle. And so we're looking for something to help prevent it. So it's like true preventative wellness by using what's natural and is not going to hurt you.
I love that. And I totally agree. I think our whole generation, people are saying we're a bit more crunchy, I guess, if you will, but I feel like we're just getting back to basics, you know?
Right. Exactly.
I love like the concept of like Chinese medicine and all of that kind of stuff. So for me, I find and I'm a total like nerd, like when it comes to like all things like essential oil and nutrition and herbs. And I could learn about that all day long. Like I absolutely love it.
And it was so good. Like it was just a good balance. Like it wasn't anything that was too crazy. But I just really enjoyed like actually learning about the chemicals and the terpenes and the different stuff. And that's what I loved about CBD too, was there's so much different stuff that's in it. A lot of product that's out there, and there's a lot of people that are selling it, a lot of like multi-level marketing companies. And so, you know, they've got their education about their specific products, but I wanted to be really educated about, you know, all types of CBD and the hemp and the different strains and what it does and like what's most effective and how it works when you put it in the body. So it's been fun. I've loved learning about all of this stuff. It's so cool.
And I think it gives you a better overview too. So that way, when you do procure a CBD oil, you're like, okay, I know that I'm looking for this, that, and whatever. And I don't know all the different components. I'm not well versed on CBD. So this, that, and whatever is what you're getting from me. But you know what to look for in that. You know how to look for, you know, these are the things that you need to be readily bioavailable in your body for absorption and maximum results and all of that good stuff.
Right.
So I had never, ever tried CBD oil. I had zero interest in trying CBD oil because I was like, whatever, you know, I'm not into, I don't smoke weed. I was just like, I don't need it. I'll use and I probably say this wrong. You could probably correct me. I'll use my Copaiba oil. Is that how you say it?
I have no idea. I've always said Copaiba. I have no idea. Yeah, it's whatever. It's that cool oil. I love it. I think it's great too.
The oil that smells like sawdust. No.
Right. Exactly. That's why they put it in capsules. So it's like easier to take. Yeah.
Yes. So I was always just like, oh, if I'm, you know, needing something like that, I would use that. But I got interested in Jesica's products because she has vitamin patches. And they're not like the patches that you see with some of the MLM companies or whatever. They're not made of plastic. They're like, I took a picture. I think I sent the picture to Mia, and they're like the size of a quarter.
Yeah, they're really small, and they're like made from fabric. And that's the best part because like they're breathable. I had like the birth control patches like 10, 12 years ago. Yep. And like they just weren't breathable, and they would leave a ton of adhesive, and like it just wasn't, it wasn't my jam.
Yeah. And a huge red mark, and
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, my little guy is snoring right now.
Perfect.
Right. So this is how we podcast. We have a sleeping baby, and we'll probably hear that on the recording. I'll move the microphone away from him a bit. So that's what originally, so for those of you who don't know, Jesica and I met in a mastermind that we're in together. And I think it took us a while to even really connect because you're so busy and like, so you would hop on a call and then I would hop on later and like, we never really connected until recently. But when we connected, it was like, boom, like all of this stuff. Like I had no idea she had such amazing things going on. And so I am a user and lover of these vitamin patches. And I've been using them now, I don't know, for probably a good month. I just placed my second order. And I used them, and you know, my philosophy is to use something and try it out before I tell anybody about it, right?
Right. Yeah.
But she also sent me some CBD oil that I tried, and it is really, really awesome stuff. So I have the CBD Wild, and I'll have you talk a little bit about that because it's kind of unique. It's completely different than anything else that's on the market from anywhere else that I've ever seen. But a little bit about the vitamin patches. So I have like all the patches coming in the mail. Like
you really do. Like they were like, who is this Amie person and why are we sending it? I was like, just let it go. It's fine. I know who it is. It's legit.
Yeah. Did she have a mistake? She's ordering, like I ordered like the joint patches for my husband and like allergy patches because with all the rain we've had, like all these awesome flowers are growing and we're all have the sniffles. So my question is, also you have kid vitamin patches that are like multivitamin and omega-3, which I know as a nutritionist is so important, especially for kids. Will you tell us just kind of a little bit about how you got into patches? Because I swear to God, the universe brought you and your patches to me because I was complaining in my goal getter group. I was complaining like the day or two before we connected about these patches that, man, I'm taking all these supplements. Like I was on a multivitamin that I had to take 6 of them. And the naturopath was like, you know, if you're not taking 6, it's probably, you know, 4 to 6 a day, then it's probably not the right vitamin. And like, so I was taking that and I was taking the vitamin D and I was taking the omegas and I hate swallowing pills. My husband can swallow like 15 pills at a time. And I'm like trying to swallow one and I'm like,
So I had an assistant who was going to get a like gastric bypass surgery. And then I had another assistant that she had worked with the surgeon that's here that does the bariatric surgery. And so because when they make the stomach so much smaller, you don't really have like the same absorption capabilities. Like you can only handle like a shot glass worth of liquids or food. And so what they did is this company called Patch MD, they created a multivitamin patch. And I love it because I do a lot of like genetic testing and DNA testing for weight loss and stuff like that. So I look at COMT and a ton into MTHFR and methylation, and cancer's kind of pissed me off a little bit. So now I'm looking at that. But anyway, and so I love it because the vitamins that are in the patches are methylated. So they're already actively available, because for people with MTHFR issues, you can't have folic acid because it increases homocysteine, which increases all kinds of health problems like cancer and heart disease. So it's been interesting. But I love them because they're already the active methylated formula. So they're literally good for everyone. And I'm the exact same way. Like as a kid, my mom would bring me a multivitamin and I would like put it under my like pillowcase a little bit till she found it. And then I would like run into the bathroom and try to like throw them away and wrap them in tissue paper. And she found those. So then she would stand there and make me swallow it. And so I'm like, where were these kids' patches when I was a kid? I still hate swallowing pills. And so it's been awesome because I was like you, I was taking like 2 to 3 a day of the multivitamins and the probiotics and the fish oil and all the things. So it was really good because it just kind of allows you to put something on your skin. It delivers over 8 hours. Anything that you put on your skin gets to the cellular level, I think within like 5 minutes. It's really, really fast. So we've had like older people that had low iron. They've put on the iron patch because we have one for just iron, and their irons, like their blood work is great now. So we've had all kinds of different stuff. But anyway, so I love the patches, and I'd heard about it because of the people that were doing the weight loss surgeries here. But then what happened was I started to look at all the different other patches that were available. And I was like, oh, well, they have a kids one, and they've got one for sleep, and they have a B12 for energy. And so it was amazing. Like they had all these different formulas and different types. And so I was like, well, there's literally one of these for everyone. So I might have like 3 on at the same time. I love to do the immune defense one, especially because like we just got out of flu season. And then the allergies with the quercetin and the bromelain, and I have no idea if I'm saying that right. Like they're amazing for here because we've just got pollen. Like Kentucky's the worst for allergies. So it's been really, really good. It's added a ton of benefits to our wellness side. And for a lot of people that take antacids, because every American seems to take Prilosec or Nexium or something, then it decreases your absorption. You don't have the stomach acid to break it all down. So you don't have to worry about if they're on other medications. You can just put it on the skin and everything's good. So I love them. They've been an awesome addition.
So with the allergy one, is that for adults or can it be used on kids too?
It can be used on kids too. And so with any of it, there's different herbs, there's different things. Like the sleep one has got 5-HTP and valerian and hops. And so some of those, like, you would want to look and see, like, hey, how old is the kid? How much do they weigh? And that's why we always like to do it at a pharmacy, because you can just shoot us questions, give us a call, and we can say, hey, this is good, or no, this isn't. It's kind of the difference between us and like a health food store. So you can use them for kids. I use the multivitamin patch on my 2.5-year-old, Miss Audrey. And so she loved her gummies, but I didn't really love her gummies.
Yeah.
So yeah, like she always wanted more. It was like a fight because she would have 1 or 2 and then she wants like 5. So we just put a patch in between her shoulder blades and let her sleep. And so she gets all of her vitamins as she's sleeping at night. And with Chinese medicine, you know that different organs of the body are like repairing themselves at night. So the biggest ones at night are usually like liver and lungs and gallbladder and that kind of stuff. And so that's why, like, I love that she's getting her vitamins and her nutrients while her body is also repairing while she's asleep. It's really helped cut down on the daycare runny nose sickness stuff that goes on.
Oh yeah. Yeah. We have that. I was just talking to one of my girlfriends this morning, and so my kids have, like, Matthew has a cold. Easton's just fine. But they had like 2 cases of strep throat and 2 cases of mono. And so she's like, oh my God. So she pulled her kid out of school even, you know, because it's a scary thing. Like, that's a scary thing. Like, both of those are no fun.
It is. I had a 3-year-old. So we do the rapid strep and flu testing because we're not like just a pharmacy. We're like an urgent care with drugs, basically, but we also do natural stuff too. And so I had like a 3-year-old test positive yesterday for strep. My mom got strep last night, like 6 hours was laying on the couch. Like, I was at the bank with her at 12. At 6, she was like laid out. So it's going around, and the immune defense one is great. And then there's one that's called Focus. So it can help with adults that have like ADHD or trouble focusing, that kind of thing. But it's also great for spectrum kids. So a lot of these, like, you've got kids that don't like something because of the taste or the color, or the texture, or something like that. So we service, like, as a pharmacy, we take care of one of the places here in town that has a lot of like developmental disorder kind of stuff. And the nurses and caregivers have been like, these are amazing because we don't have that fight anymore. Like, we can just put it on their skin. They're fine. You can put it on their back, their shoulder blades. You don't even notice it while you're wearing it. It doesn't itch or anything like that.
Oh, that's amazing. That's great. And they're not itchy, like, or anything. And I was telling Mia, so I know that Mia's still watching. I was telling Mia, because she's like, oh, maybe I need the B12, you know, because there's a million reasons why you need vitamin D and B12 and whatever. Mm-hmm. So I use the B12 during the day, and I swear within 20 minutes, I'm like going, but I'm not like cracked out. Like, you know, like
right.
Too much espresso and you're like, bzz. It's not like that. But I told her, like, and your pee doesn't glow.
Yellow or green or any other.
Yeah, it's not fluorescent pee, or what did I tell her? Designer pee or something like that.
Yeah.
And she laughed, but it's true. Like, you know, with the vitamins, I swear, if you take a multivitamin or B vitamin or whatever orally, your pee is like fluorescent.
It is. And it's because, like, the way that it's broken down is through the liver. And so if you're putting something on the skin, or if you're inhaling it, a lot of times it bypasses that liver metabolism. And that's where the drug interactions and that kind of stuff come in with a lot of these things, like the St. John's wort and the grapefruit juice and your medicines and stuff like that. So if you're able to eliminate that form of metabolism through the liver, then you're kind of set. You're good.
Yeah. Well, that's good. It gives your liver a little bit of a break too, because it does a lot all the time. Yeah. Mia says that the B12 is nice and subtle.
It is. Like, it's just a solid 8 hours. And just like you, I like to try stuff out, but I've got like 15 of my staff members. So I'm like, hey, we're going to try this out and see what happens. And it was perfect. Like, everybody was a little bit more productive. It seemed like everybody was a little bit happier. And so you just get like a good 6 to 8 hours of consistent, solid energy, but you're not jittery. You're not like, oh, I drank too much caffeine. It's just like you're in your best form for a long time. And that's what I love.
Yeah. And I think because it's on your skin, you know, and it's giving kind of like, I want to say like continuous flow. I know that's not the right word.
Continuous release. Yeah.
You
You got all this talk down. You got all this science. Okay.
I did study nutrition. I studied holistic nutrition and herbology the first time I went to college.
Awesome.
So I have like this, and like I said, I'm a total like nerd about that stuff. I could sit and watch like, if they had like herbology and like holistic nutrition documentaries, I could watch them all day. I love them.
Yeah.
So for me, I could talk to you about all of this stuff all day long. Let's talk a little bit. So Jessica's done something really awesome for all of you guys listening. I put her website link in the comments, and it'll be in the show notes as well. But she's giving everybody a chance to try all of her stuff. And there's a coupon code, Amie10. It's easy to remember, and you can use that each time you order. So it's going to give you 10% off. But let me just tell you guys, first of all, you get a month's supply of these patches for like $16.95 or $19.95 right now. So it's not even like you're going to Whole Foods and you're spending $80 on 1 month's supply of a multivitamin or something. And I know that, some people will continue to do that, and that's fine. But I just wanted to let you guys know that not only are these things amazing, and amazing that I've tried it myself. You guys know me, you know that I'm like a total like researcher guru of that kind of research stuff. And I wouldn't be telling you guys about this. I wouldn't be having Jess on the show if this stuff wasn't truly amazing. But since we're talking about amazing, let's talk about your CBD Wild.
My favorite thing to talk about. So we have CBD products, and we've been doing it for anxiety. We've been doing it for pain and inflammation, and it's great for that. So what they don't tell you when you have a kid is that you may or may not have to have an episiotomy. And I knew a little bit about it, but not very much.
Right.
So for those that don't know, it's where you've got a large baby because your husband's genetics or yours or something. Anyway, it's a whole thing. The universe isn't fair. So Audrey was like 8 pounds and 6 ounces when she was born, like at 39 weeks. So she was a big girl, and they have to cut to be able to get the baby out sometimes. When they're doing that, they don't tell you like, oh, it's going to cause some scar tissue and there might be some like nerve damage or some pain. That's not really discussed. And they definitely don't say, where would you like for us to cut? So cut to me like 6 months later, trying to, be intimate with my husband, and all the favorite things that we used to be able to do, we can't do anymore because that's right where they cut and that's where the scar tissue is. And so it just causes this pain, and it's not comfortable. It's not fun. And so I went like 2 years without being able to really like do what I really enjoyed, in certain positions and that kind of stuff. So I was talking with my staff, and I was like, man, we had talked about using it internally for like IBS and Crohn's disease and having like suppositories and that kind of stuff. And so then I was like, well, if it helps with inflammation and with scar tissue, and it helps it to repair and heal and inflammation and pain, I wonder what this would do vaginally. And then I was like, you know what? Because of course I know just enough to be dangerous. And so with this oil, I was like, well, black pepper also upregulates your endocannabinoid system. And it's also a vasodilator that releases nitric oxide. So what if you just put those two things together? And so I was like, well, which one would I do? I want to do a THC-free one because I don't want for that to mess with anything.
Right.
Like, and peppermint's always a good time. At the same time, I have a person come in who's one of my naturopath clients, and she's like trying to conceive, and she makes her own essential oil-based like personal lubricant. And I was like, well, that's cool. But we went through each of the different oils and made sure like, no, nothing's going to cause anything bad to happen. So like at 2:00 in the morning in my bathroom, just deciding I was going to try something. I got like a kitchen bowl and grabbed some THC-free like CBD that was peppermint, and put some black pepper in it, put some like unfractionated coconut oil in it, mix it up, and was like, well, let's just try it and see what happens. So I told my husband, I was like, we're going to experiment, get excited. And so within like 2 minutes, like I was able to be in positions, which were my favorite, that I hadn't been able to because of pain. And so it's insane to me. Like it was such a difference. And it also like super stimulated every other area that you put it on. So like anything, we're keeping it PG, but anyway, so, and it was the same with my husband. So whenever he also applied it, he could increase, like he would feel increased sensations. And so it was absolutely amazing. And I love the fact that it's not something that has anything toxic or anything bad in it. It's literally just CBD oil, peppermint, essential oil, black pepper essential oil and coconut oil. That's all that's in this.
Yeah, no synthetic garbage.
Right. Because like, of course, like you've tried the warming stuff and the cooling stuff, and it always has like a fake kind of feel to it. It's too intense. It's not enough. You're wondering what's in it and what does this even start with? It's been really, really good because it's all natural. And then the other cool thing is that you can still consume it. So if you want CBD oil and you want to take it by mouth for anxiety or for pain or for anything, you can still do that. Your tongue's going to tingle a little bit, but that's fine. It feels good anyway. So it's been really cool. We've made it. And so it helps a lot with like vaginal dryness for people that are going through menopause or have gone through menopause, dryness, as well as like just as your hormones change and those membranes change and they thin out, you don't have as much like lubricant that you're making. It fixes that. And it's not just like there's medicines like Ospina that cost $800 that you can get to help with dryness, or you could just use some CBD oil and it also enhances like pleasure and it makes everything feel so much better. So I'm in love. It changed my life, changed my marriage. It's been a good time.
And I've actually tasted it. It tastes really good. I think it tastes like vanilla-y mint.
Yeah. And it's such a good taste. And so it's cut down a little bit because of the coconut oil that's put into it also. And so it's not overpowering. Like there's no anything that is really offending about it. I love it. I think it's great.
Yeah. My friend who I'd been messaging you about, he was over for dinner, I guess, I don't know, whatever day I messaged you, a week ago or so. And I was like, well, go ahead and try it. I think it tastes good, because he had gotten some elsewhere and he's like, oh, I can barely even, he's like, it helps, but I can barely stand to put it in my mouth. You know,
right.
It's just so awful. And so I was like, oh, you know, and I'd kind of heard that prior, like, ooh, it's gross. Like, okay, well, that's just one more reason why I shouldn't try it. And then when we were talking about it and everybody's like, oh, it's super good. It's super good. And I was like, all right, I'm going to try it. I'm going to try it. Cause I've had anxiety, you know, over the last couple of years, and some things that had been occurring like just in my life that were causing more anxiety. So I'm like, all right, this stuff is amazing.
Yeah. And that's what I love it for. Like, I'll just do a dose of it because it helps with inflammation. So you're getting health benefits anyway.
Yeah.
But if you can also, like, I just use it before, like, as I pull in the parking lot to the pharmacy, I'm like, all right, cool, let's do this. Because we don't ever know what's going to walk in our doors. We can't really schedule, like, who's coming in.
Right.
And so with staff and everything, we just have, like, staff bottles of CBD that they can just try it and have a good time. And so, of course, my favorite part was the research and design of this product. Because it worked for me and it was great. My husband liked it, but what does it do for other people? So we decided to just make some and give it to our employees for testimonial, which was maybe the most awkward testimonial I've ever received. But I wanted to try it out and make sure that everything, you know, that it was a similar experience for everybody.
Right.
So, but yeah, I love the fact. And so people are like, well, I could buy just this, but can I still take it? Like, I don't want to just buy something for sex or for whatever and then not be able to also have a different CBD. And I'm like, no, we formulated it so that you can use either way that you want to.
Multi-purpose.
Right. And the black pepper also upregulates your endocannabinoids. So it's kind of like CBD with essential oils that supercharge it to make it even more effective. So I love it. I think it's great.
Yeah, heck yeah. So when you first, I think this still keeps us PG, but when you first talked about it, you called it like the Viagra for women almost.
It is. Like, I mean, you can apply, it depends on where you're applying it. If you've got like vaginal dryness and pain, obviously putting it inside is the best place for it. Give it about 5 or so minutes for it to really take full effect because it's got to release new blood to the area. But there's also a beautiful little thing that's right up above that. That is very highly vascularized. That's a pleasure center for women. Is that PG? I think that's PG.
I think so.
And so if you apply a couple drops to that, I mean, it makes you go from 0 to 100, just like Drake, real quick. And so I absolutely love it. Like, I can be super stressed out because I'm always doing something. I've got multiple things that I'm always working on. And so, like, I mean, I can literally apply that, and within like 5 minutes, I'm chasing my husband around the house. Like, I'm all about it. And it works for like without any sort of stimulation or anything. I put a couple drops on and they're good to go. So it's like liquid Viagra for men and women that also has health benefits, but is also healthy and tastes really good too. So it's kind of like changed my life. It's amazing.
So it's multi-purpose and, and safe and effective and all the things. Yes.
Right.
So, so now that you guys all know about this, show Jess some love. And if tell me a little bit too, because your CBD is like locally grown, right?
Right. So any of the CBD that you're getting, it has to be from hemp, and it has to be like a agricultural hemp project. So it's got to be industrial hemp is what they call it.
Yeah.
And so Kentucky Department of Agriculture regulates who's allowed to. You have to apply for a license, and they come out and inspect it and make sure that you're not growing anything else that you're not supposed to, and the THC content's where it is. And there's a lot of regulations with it. And so we like to know our farmers and our growers. We've got a couple of national brands that you can see on our website, like CV Sciences and Ananda and things like that. But even Ananda is grown here in Kentucky, like it's in Cynthiana. So this guy, his name is Paul Glover, who owns the company. It's Mile Marker 5. And we were introduced to it because we kept having patients come in. We would say, "Oh, we have CBD oil now." And they're like, "Well, do you have Mile Marker 5? Because that's the one that I love." And he uses different strains than most people do. And he's got a really cool extraction process. Like you said, it actually tastes good, which is the biggest barrier. Like if cost isn't the barrier to entry, it's always been the taste of it. So I love his THC-free isolates, the cinnamon and then the mint, because they taste amazing and they work really, really well for pain or for anxiety. Because there's some that are just good for pain, and then there's some that are good for just anxiety. But his seems to hit both items and both symptoms really, really well.
Nice. Yeah, I could definitely tell you that if something is like awful to taste, like tastes awful, I'm not taking it. Like, I don't care. I don't care what the price is. I'll pay more for something that I can actually take than, that makes a difference for me. Because I know there's some really great products out there, and I've tried some of them. I've had clients and whatever, and I get a lot of people asking me to try a lot of different things. And sometimes I just have to tell them, like, no, I can't, I can't physically consume that product,
Right. Exactly. And so a lot of this, it started off with the ones that weren't THC free. And the best part is that it is THC free, because if you're taking stuff that does have that legal limit of THC, the SAMHSA limit is so low on urine test that you can still fail it. So that was the main reason that we wanted to be THC free, was so that we could apply this to everyone. Obviously there are the THC containing oils on our website. So if that's something, like, it does help the endocannabinoid system as well. And it helps it just be a little bit more effective, but I'm still seeing good results from our patients and from our clients without the THC in it too. So if drug tests, we have a lot of healthcare workers that come in, hospital workers and doctors and nurses. And so that's why we like to have an option for people.
Yeah, no, I like that. Because I don't care one way or the other, because, I'm self-employed, but a lot of people are still, even so obviously all cannabis products are pretty much legal in California, but it's not accepted or approved by all employers.
Right.
So, I mean, that's still a valid concern for people, whether you have a medical card or whatever for it or not. It's still like, if you have a drug test, you're still going to be in trouble. So I love that there's an option available for everybody.
Yeah.
Mia says she's going to stock up.
It's awesome. I love it. It's one of my favorite things that I've ever done. So it's been good.
Yeah. And so I don't know. I mean, when I looked at the pricing on the website and whatever, I didn't really have a whole lot to compare it to, because I'd never purchased CBD before, but it seems like the pricing is really, really affordable.
It is. So we work at a deal. Like, we've been to Paul's farm. We've seen the plants. We've seen the process. We know him very well. And so because we do buy in such a large quantity, because we are brick and mortar, I mean, we'll sell $16,000 worth of CBD a month. Like, it's not. So because we have such a high quantity of it that we order, we're able to get really good prices, and we don't have that middle person that we have to work with. Because them are more expensive. And it depends on the strength and the type and why you're doing it and that kind of stuff. But we try to make it available to where everybody can at least try it. And then if it works good for you, then we always offer like a 10% discount for loyalty and that kind of stuff. So we like to make it accessible. I'm not doing it to make a ton of money. I just want for people to feel better. Good.
I love that. So amazing. So yeah, and Jessica's given us a coupon code that you guys can use for 10% off your orders. It's Amie10, AMIE 10. And that's, you just go straight to her website, the ofpwellness.com, and pick your flavor and I'm such a huge fan of the vitamin patches. Like, I could tell everybody about them, which is basically why I wanted to have you on, doing this podcast recording live, because I know I know that, if people had questions about it or whatever, that this would be the perfect time. So let me just hop over. I see there's still some of you guys hopped on. Does anybody have any questions before we let the doctor get back to work?
And if you guys do have questions, and are watching this later on in a replay or anything, we've got an email website. So it's owensborofamilypharmacy.com, and it's Owensboro, it's Owensboro. So we get a ton of questions, and we like to be accessible because that's why we're pharmacists. So if you do have any questions, just send an email to owensborofamilypharmacy@gmail.com. And then we'll respond back and kind of customize and tailor the best products for you based on symptoms and any questions that you've got.
Perfect. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your super busy schedule to, share these amazing products with everybody and with the listeners. And I guess I'm going to go lay down my little guy here.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for having me. I absolutely love all the things that you're doing. So,
thank you.
Thank you so much, dear. Y'all have a good day, okay?
Thanks. Talk to you soon.